All right, we're hitting the pause button there on that evidence coming out of Massachusetts to turn our attention to New York, where both sides have now completed their opening statements in the sex trafficking trial for hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. And joining us now live on the ground is Court TV legal correspondent Kelly Craft, who has been inside of that federal courtroom for much of the day today. Kelly, I know we don't have our cameras there, but we have you, your eyes and ears. Tell me what you can about those opening statements from the prosecution today.
Well, hi there, Julia. Yes, no cameras inside the courtroom because this, of course, is federal court. The opening statements by the government and defense counsel just wrapped up. So we just came outside of this courthouse. We're going to be back in 1 hour. As you can imagine, it is quite a scene here in New York. Hundreds of people around, people yelling, showing their support for Sean Diddy Combs. Some people, of course, showing their dislike for some of the things that he has been charged with in this case. So the prosecution started. We do have a full screen of some of the things that the government said in its opening statement. You can see that it says the prosecution's opening statement to the public. He was Puff Diddy, or Diddy, a cultural icon, a businessman, larger than life. But there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise. You're going to hear about 20 years of the defendant's crime. So the government was very deliberate, very straightforward as it went through one person after another, talking about Cassie and another witness by the name of Jane, and then also another woman by the name of Mia, who worked for him as Sean Diddy Combs' personal assistant for a number of years. So the government went through each one of these witnesses, talking about how they were forced into sex. Why don't we go ahead and listen to what the defense counsel had to say in its opening. I'm going to tell it to you, actually. We don't have a soundbite, excuse me, but we're going to put up a full screen of what the defense counsel had to say, but we don't have that full screen. But let me just tell you a little bit about it, and excuse me, because as you can imagine, there's lots of people that are around. A lot of people are standing in front of us right now that are strong supporters of Sean Diddy Combs. So when I talk about what the defense talked about and said in its opening, in a way, the way that they were delivering this opening, it was so interesting at first because what they did is they had Sean Combs stand up. Defense counsel turned around and said, "This is Sean Combs." He stood up. He is wearing a light-colored sweater, a shirt underneath, also light in color, and he stood there, and she introduced him to the jury, talking about his genius, how people wanted to be around him because he was so charismatic. So he stood there as his defense counsel was describing him and how he came to be, how he grew up here in New York, in Harlem, and then became this cultural icon. They talked about money and how the witnesses that you're going to hear from had 30 million and have 30 million reasons to come up here and tell you what took place, that they took this money, that they wanted something from Sean Diddy. They weren't forced. These were adult women, strong women, capable women, and they made a personal choice to stay in these relationships. This was not a crime. So that's kind of a gist of what defense counsel was saying in its opening statement. But again, quite a scene outside this New York courthouse. We're going to make our way back inside. You have to get in line to make certain that you get a seat inside the courtroom. You can't bring electronics of any kind inside the courtroom. So there's a line for that as well. But a lot of people, as they were listening to the openings, snickering at times during some of it, in which the defense counsel was talking about the baby oil, talking about how you're going to hear about the baby oil. You're going to hear about intimate details of someone's sex life and how these women were willing participants. She said it's going to be uncomfortable at times, and like any relationship, you're going to hear how this relationship also was toxic. So, Julia, that's kind of the latest here. If you If you have any other thoughts or questions you want to ask me, go ahead.
Oh, Kelly,
yeah,
first of all, can I say you are an amazing professional to be able to stay focused when I'm hearing that supporter there in the background talking about Diddy getting the keys to the city at some point in New York and going on and on. But you are taking us there inside of the courtroom, so we are so grateful for that. I do want to ask you about this first witness that the prosecution is going to call. I understand that it has to do with the hotel surveillance video, because we've been wondering, where did this surveillance video come from if Sean Diddy Combs paid someone $100,000 to obtain it for himself?
That's one of the things that was talked about in the openings, Julia. So he had thought that there was maybe just one copy of this video when in fact there wasn't. So we're expected to hear from this witness who was handed a bag full of $100 bills. So he's going to testify about being, quote unquote, blackmailed to hand over this video.
All right, Kelly Craft, thanks so much. We'll let you get back inside of that courthouse.